Welcome back to Misadventures Recap, and just like the weather in the UK, things on the server are really heating up. Starting with our favourite damsel in distress Jimmy as he yearns to be saved by Joel.
Or maybe Joel, in his hot bod, will save me. Oh, Joel! I need a rod! Shut up, Jim. Shut up.
Sausage and Ren let their inner demons out and it leaves Drift just a little bit confused.
Who's there?
Greetings to you.
Is that RoboCop?
It is not.
We are nothing but demons sent here.
Demons?
And our poor Drift is left even more confused after we see everyone's worst nightmare. 2 Cambams.
Oh my gosh, I'm so confused. I've never been so confused in my life.
I
Okay,
love
the Cambam
Scott.
on the left,
Scott.
speak.
I am Cambam. I love Scott and coming in 32nd place in MCC.
Oh man, okay.
I'm Cambam too, and I finished 32nd in MCC and also love Scott.
Oh.
So without further ado, let's get into this week's recap. But before we do, make sure you subscribe right now to stay up to date on everything Minecraft Misadventures. Let's recap.
Flowerboy Cambam officially declares the Petal and Vine plant shop open for business. Drift comes by for a tour and becomes his first paying customer. The tour continues into his chamber, and I'm not sure Drift is a fan.
What is this? Why is there blood on the floor?
Oh, how did that get there?
Drift wants the flower directly from Cam's head and even kills him for it, then adds his head to her collection in the attic of Cambam.
In the attic of this place. What?
It's where I go when I miss you.
Cam shows a time-lapse of the University of Cambridge library and tours the build so far, explaining plans for a connecting bridge and to build out the surrounding area over time.
Back in his regular clothes and back from the island life, Jimmy returns to Orchidea to get back to his pursuit for Rosalia, where he is friend-zoned in record time.
Thank you for your kindness, warms my heart. Right, your friendship is cherished. And there is where the cookie crumbles.
He buys 2 candles to make up for lost time and announces his new project, Jimmy's Junkyard. He purchases the plot for 15,000 gold and gets to terraforming, then textures the area with path blocks, coarse dirt, and packed mud. Another time-lapse later and his junkyard home overlooking the future trash pile is complete. He explains his plans for a couple more builds that need to be made before the junkyard can officially open. He recaps some progress made by other misadventurers, starting with Martin's Misinformer Volume 1 and Tanisha's Joke Book.
A creeper headed to Isla Bonita, but Tanisha, you owe me money for reading that joke. Thank you.
He takes on Drift's Lawnhaven parkour tower and despite not being able to do it in the moment, proves he did complete it during a live stream. He then arrives at Lizzie's Crystal Hollow fishing pool where he finds she made the axolotls edible.
Lizzie would not do that. Lizzie would do this. What am I kidding? Who am I kidding? Lizzie would do this. She's crazy.
After venturing east, he finds the long-lost jungle temple, which Martin had told him about weeks ago, and asks his viewers to leave a comment predicting what it will be used for in the future.
Sausage kicks his feet up and reads his morning paper, The Misinformer Volume 1, asking his comments section for suggestions for what to advertise in a future edition. He visits Avid's Beetle to farm honey, and then Travis's shack to farm the goat breeding quest, but unfortunately, still doesn't get the goat mount. At the Dwarven Keep, Sausage builds a beautiful new storage room, but then gets called back to the Riverwood Hamlet for a murder mystery event hosted by Cam. Cam explains the rules and assigns everyone a target who they must kill during the event, but via a method that they must find in a shulker box themselves. Sausage's target is Drift. The method is via a falling anvil, and Jojo is immediately suspicious.
No, there's definitely enough place.
I
There's
dropped
2
this.
more than there are people.
Sausage, are you trying to kill someone with a...
No, I just fell.
He mostly succeeds in crushing Drift, and then teams up with her to complete her task of escorting a chicken to the top of the hamlet, just to find out he was her target all along. After the murder mystery party is over, they all celebrate with a mythical mead at the roadside tavern.
Avid begins with a creepy nightmare cinematic, adding to his space janitor lore which I'm dying to see more of. He then shows off his new self-regenerating honey farm and invites Matt and Drift to try it out, where they find out the hard way that it's not a completely safe process.
I don't know. I was just using my hand. Whoa!
Ooh, what is...
The bees are
Oh
coming!
my word, they're mad at me.
Why?
Get
Why?
'em!
You shouldn't have done that.
Get 'em,
What did I do?
bees!
Oh, I need to get out
I
of
am
there. I'm
out.
stuck in here, Olivia.
Anyways,
Avid and Drift of course see this as another way to promote the milk business and start selling Matt on the idea of a VIP subscription. They also ask about the Cam Wanted sign at the cow ranch where Matt offers 500 gold per cam head, which means the milk and honey fighting ring scam will finally be put to the test. Avid and Drift then find the heart of the forest where at night it turns into a pale oak forest, and they quickly find out how deadly the creaking are. After a quick outfit change, Avid begins practicing his cam impression to help pull off the scam against Matt.
Are you doing okay, buddy? You know what? You have a little bit of a pep in your step still. I haven't seen you cry much today, though.
Oh, yes, the worms are working their way through those centers of my brain, so well.
So you're admitting you still have worms?
Oh, yes, big worm, the big got bigger.
Can we...
Drift kills Cam, and the scam is complete. Avid is given a tour of the now finished Lawnhaven parkour tower, featuring a secret underground tunnel system with regenerating iron, and a bonus loot chest. They complete the tower and are rewarded with a lawn shard, which will be used in a future dungeon Drift is currently working on. Speaking of dungeons, Avid teases some information about his upcoming dungeon, which will be set in the space station he is originally from. He cuts to a time-lapse of some of the 260 custom trees needed for his area, before jumping into a creative world to tease more of the space station dungeon build.
Drift gives an update to her Lawnhaven town center, including the now named Lunch Haven fast food spot with its drive-thru moved to the back. The Tavern of Lawn still needs decorating, but will be done during her live streams. As we saw earlier, the parkour tower is now finished, so she gives a full tour featuring all the secret rooms, loot, and lore, including full books written by Lizzie. The most important part of this tower being the lawn shard found in the final barrel, which will be used as an entry ticket to her upcoming dungeon. Back in the town center, she leaves a space for a future library build, but extends the path to a new housing area, which will allow players to buy property similar to Maryport and Orchidia. She explains her thought process and build palette while building the first couple of homes, but is then interrupted by a very different sounding cam.
Oh. Well. If it
Whoa,
isn't
jump scare!
Infinite Drift.
Then something straight out of a nightmare, two cams appear, as Drift struggles to tell which one is which, but it still somehow got weirder.
Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow.
One stream and 3 cottages later, she tours the available housing so far. The interiors are left empty for the players to decorate themselves, but with water wheels, views of the parkour tower, and private bridges and ponds, I don't think she'll have any issue in getting these houses sold.
Sev chooses Fwip to be the recipient of this episode's wholesome mail and writes him a book congratulating him on reaching 10,000 days on his hardcore world. She includes a very rare and authentic award that definitely wasn't a random item stolen from Sausage's home and renamed. After carving a giant hole through the messer, she fills her inventory with terracotta and with a mangrove donation from Pix, has enough resources to start building the red and orange tulips in her walled garden. She leaves space for a giant overgrown watering can and adds a water pump as a river source that cuts through the garden. She then adds a fallen tree branch that works as a bridge, detailing it with moss, hanging roots, and mushrooms. Then Sev builds some broken flower pots that will make up the entrance to the future dungeon and adds some dandelions, blue orchids, and a bunch of ferns to fill out the surrounding area. She adds more detailing with moss carpet and stone buttons before filling some of the gaps with larger rocks, including one that doubles as a viewing platform to appreciate the scale of the garden. Of course, it wouldn't be a garden without some creepy crawlies, so Sev builds a variety of beetles, centipedes, and oddly adorable snails. I feel like at this point we all get scared when we see snails. She finishes the garden with some butterflies and for some added lore, a broken down fairy house ready for Lizzie to add in some NPC fairies that will roam around but also guard the dungeon entrance.
Still mourning the loss of Oven Mitt, JoJo names her new sheep mount Handtal and adds the person who suggested the name to the ever-growing wall of time wizards. She checks her mail just to find herself being ridiculed in the Misinformer, and I think becomes the first fan of Tanisha's joke book.
Joke subscriptions available soon? That's hilarious.
While stashing the joke book away, she finds a new book, The Truth by the Time Guardian. She plays a really well-made, lore-filled cinematic, which I recommend you watch for yourself, but concludes that this Pendulum's Reach village must be built to return to her original timeline. She's then invited to Cam's murder mystery event, where her given target is Ollie, and the method of murder is entity cramming. As if by fate, Ollie then asks JoJo for her help with his task of convincing others to eat pufferfish in return for an IOU later. One murder later, she gets to work on the minecart entity cramming setup. She informs Ollie it's time to cash in the IOU, lures him to the spot above the minecarts, and I'll just let this clip play out.
So here's all I need you to do, if at all possible.
Wait, I just need to answer in the chat. Ow.
I see what's happening, Jojo.
With the murder party over, she returns to village building. 4 time lapses later, she has her first time wizard homes and a fountain centerpiece. She tours the area so far and picks out spots for upcoming stable and market builds in the future.
Martin gives another behind the scenes look at how he makes his Misinformer newspaper. He goes very in depth, so if you're interested in that kind of thing, I highly recommend you go and watch the video for yourself. Clocking into his day job as a nosy mailman, he quickly realizes he doesn't have access to Fwip's mailbox, which of course prompts Martin's first article of the week, a dig at Fwip and the Road Builders Guild. He then visits Lawnhaven and is given the tour by Drift, making sure to take notes for his second article, focused mostly on the Lawnhaven parkour tower. After giving the tower a quick run through, he gets to writing the Lawnhaven article, advertising the housing project with built-in protection against greedy landlords, and of course advertising the parkour tower with a hint at speedruns to come. Putting his journalistic duties on pause, he meets with the rest of the Misadventurers for Cam's murder mystery event. His target is Shelby and must make her eat a cursed steak before he is allowed to kill her. He also gets 2 bonus tasks. One, to sing 3 songs from different musicals and will be paid out depending on how many people he can get to join in, and the second to get Sausage to speak Spanish, Sev to speak German, and Ren to speak Afrikaans. He gets Sausage almost immediately, Ren somehow comes up with the idea of speaking Afrikaans himself, and then eventually gets Sev to speak German too, earning him 3,000 gold. Ollie convinces Martin to help him with his task of making his target eat a pufferfish, just to find out Martin himself was the target. Ollie now shares Martin's task, so they work together to convince Shelby to eat the steak, disguising it as a way to team as a 3, which she believes instantly.
Yeah.
I'll never forgive you.
That's okay. Welcome to the team. I mean, you are now part of the team.
Yeah.
You gotta give me your task and your target.
The murder mystery party comes to a close with a round of hide and seek, and then Martin writes his final article for the week about the event, adding in reports of a floating object seen over Hawthorne Valley in the distance.
Shelby begins her episode of the murder mystery party. Her assigned target is Jojo, but must get her to say cheeky Nando's before being allowed to kill her. She comes close, but is then lured away and tricked into eating a cursed steak before being killed by Martin. They end the party with a round of hide and seek and some drinks at the roadside tavern. While gathering materials for her next carnival build, she finds a corrupted chunk and slightly breaks the server.
Hello?
After a dirt donation from Cam, a mud donation from Jojo, and a trip to the Nether, she has all the materials needed to build her carnival carousel. She safely attaches all of her mounts as the seats of the carousel before inviting Avid over for a tour of the circus so far.
That's it for this week's Misadventures recap. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to like and subscribe, but most importantly, let us know down below what your favourite moments have been. We'll see you in the next recap.